What's going on, y'all? Rome here again. So, I'm not quite sure why I haven't recorded this video yet. I thought that I had, and apparently I haven't. So, this is going to be my rave of Champions of Midgard and the Dark Mountains and Valhalla expansions. Now, Champions of Midgard was my first worker placement game that I played, and I absolutely love it. As soon as I played it, I knew that I had to buy it. Sure, it adds some dice rolling and that randomness, and that was really the only thing that I wasn't huge on. Now, there's so much else that goes on with this game besides that dice rolling, and there were so many different, ways that you could try to score points that it wasn't a huge deal to me. Now, the more I played it, after dozens and dozens of plays, that got a little tiresome. But with these new expansions that just came out recently, it totally changes everything. So the Dark Mountains expansion is pretty much just more of the same. So you're going to get, there's going to be new journey cards that you can go on, and you're going to be fighting different types. I think they're Bergersars, however you pronounce it. And they're land journey cards instead of sea journey. So it's just adding even more paths to victory, even more ways to gain glory. Now, the Valhalla expansion is really what turns this game around. And I shouldn't say turns it around. It's really what ramps it up to being one of the better, more accessible worker placement games that you can find. Now, the Valhalla expansion allows you to, when your warrior dice are lost in battle, when they die in battle and you're losing your dice, you get tokens for them. Now, these tokens can be spent to buy glory, buy different types of dice. It's awesome, because if you're rolling really terribly, like I tend to do, then it's not that big of a deal. Even sometimes you want to lose certain dice in a battle. So, heck, maybe sometimes I'll send dice out there that I don't even need in hopes that they die. Now, that might seem a little backwards, but when you're gaining the amount of glory that you can gain from the Valhalla section of the board, and when you can defeat these epic monsters for combining a bunch of these different types of tokens together, that's what's really going to give you a lot of glory, and it's what's really going to help you come back from possibly losing to several of the sea monsters when you're trying to go out on those journeys and battle them, because that was always a big thing, is who's going to be able to roll well and beat these monsters. And if you do beat these monsters, you're probably, or if you beat more monsters than your opponents, then you're probably going to win the game. So the Valhalla expansion just completely flips that, and I've seen people win this game against experienced players, against players who normally win. I've seen other players not even fight these monsters and win the game because they're being efficient with their moves, and they are, fighting these Bergersars. They're collecting sets. There's going to be more ways to collect sets now, because there's more monster cards up on the board for you to face. And then they're also beating the epic monsters. They're getting some cards from Valhalla that are giving them round bonuses. So if you're in the 8th round and you take this card, you get 8 glory for it, right? So there's certain things like that that just really change the game, all for the better. So there's new types of dice. You have archer dice who are great at hunting. They're great at doing everything, really. They're almost always going to be a hit, but they're not the most powerful. Then they have these other new dice that are super powerful, but if you lose a dice in a battle and they're involved, they have to be the first ones to die. So sort of good and bad there. But maybe you need those dice to be lost so you can gain those tokens, like I was saying before. So just how all these different new mechanics tie in with the base game is really perfect. I was lucky enough to back these expansions on Kickstarter, and I got the oversized neoprene playmat with it, which is just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So there's new meeples involved as well that have Viking horns on them. They're great. It just really adds to the game, I think. Now, you know, if you had played Champions of Midgard before and were maybe even just a little meh on it, I would highly suggest that you play with the Valhalla and Dark Mountains expansions. I really think that your view of the game will definitely be changed for the better. And if you've already played Champions of Midgard and you love it, this is probably going to make it one of your favorite games if you add these expansions in. So I'm sure that a lot of people have already played these expansions. You know, if you haven't, I definitely suggest you check it out. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Champions of Midgard and the Valhalla and Dark Mountains expansions. Thanks for watching.